All right, let's read this quick article, this excerpt from Alexander Solzhenitsyn's Nobel Prize speech. We're looking for the best reasons to study art, or what makes art worthy of studying, what sets it apart from other academic pursuits or disciplines, what makes art unique, why is it important? All right, let's take a look. Beauty Will Save the World by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. Archaeologists have not yet discovered any stage of human existence without art. Even in the half-light, before the dawn of humanity, we received this gift from hands we did not manage to discern. Nor have we managed to ask, why was this gift given to us, and what are we to do with it? And all those prophets who are predicting that art is disintegrating, that it has used up all its forms, that it is dying, are mistaken. We are the ones who shall die, and art will remain. The question is whether before we perish, we shall understand all its aspects and all its ends. Not all can be given names. Some of them go beyond words. Art opens even the chilled, darkened heart to high spiritual experience. Through the instrumentality of art, we are sometimes sent, vaguely, briefly, insights which logical processes of thought cannot attain. Like the tiny mirror of the fairy tale, you look into it and see not yourself, but for one fleeting moment, the unattainable, to which you cannot leap or fly, and the heart aches. Dostoevsky once let drop the enigmatic phrase, "Beauty will save the world." What does this mean? For a long time, it used to seem to me that this was a mere phrase. Just how could such a thing be possible? When had it ever happened in the bloodthirsty course of history that beauty had saved anyone from anything? Beauty had provided embellishment, certainly, given uplift, but whom had it ever saved? However, there is a special quality in the essence of beauty, a special quality in the status of art. The conviction carried by a genuine work of art is absolutely indisputable and tames even the strongly opposed heart. One can construct a political speech, an assertive journalistic polemic, a program for organizing society, a philosophical system, so that it in appearance is smooth, well structured, and yet it is built upon a mistake, a lie, and the hidden element, the distortion, will not immediately become visible. And a speech, or a journalistic essay, or a program in rebuttal, or a different philosophical structure can be counterposed to the first, and it will seem just as well constructed and as smooth, and everything will seem to fit, and therefore one has faith in them, yet one has no faith. It is vain to affirm that which the heart does not confirm. In contrast, a work of art bears within itself its own confirmation. Concepts which are manufactured out of whole cloth or overstrained will not stand up to being tested in images, will somehow fall apart and turn out to be sickly and pallid and convincing to no one. Works steeped in truth and presenting it to us vividly alive will take hold of us, will attract us to themselves with great power, and no one ever, even in a later age, will presume to negate them. And so perhaps that old trinity of truth and good and beauty is not just the formal outworn formula it used to seem to us during our heady, materialistic youth. If the crests of these three trees join together, as the investigators and explorers used to affirm, and if the too obvious, too straight branches of truth and good are crushed or amputated and cannot reach the light, yet perhaps the whimsical, unpredictable, unexpected branches of beauty will make their way through and soar up to that very place, and in this way perform the work of all three. And in that case, it was not a slip of the tongue for Dostoevsky to say that beauty will save the world, but a prophecy. After all, he was given the gift of seeing much. He was extraordinarily illumined. And consequently, perhaps art, literature, can in actual fact help the world of today. All right, so did you find some of these reasons that I want you to jot down? Let's see if we can highlight some of them here. Oops. All right, so the very first sentence I think would work. There's never been a stage of human existence without art. We've always tried to create art, so it's got to be important. How about in the third paragraph, art opens the chilled, darkened heart to high spiritual experience. Through art, the instrumentality of art, we are sometimes sent insights which logical processes of thought cannot gain. So we've got 3 now. And you can summarize them if you want to, paraphrase, shorten them. Art allows us to, for a moment, see beyond ourselves, right? Like the tiny mirror of the fairy tale. I'm not sure what that fairy tale is, but apparently there's a fairy tale where you look in a mirror and you don't see yourself, but instead you see the attainable. How about in this one? Maybe that one's just questioning. I don't know that we have a reason in that 5th paragraph. So let's go down to the 6th paragraph. This paragraph is he's making an interesting point. He takes a while to make it, and I'm not sure. It took me a couple times to read it before I understood what he was saying, but he is saying that art, genuine art, can't be faked. There's no lying. Art is either good or it's not. Whereas in politics, we can say something and it seems like it makes sense, and then somebody else can say the exact opposite and it seems to make sense too. So what can you believe? So let's see, what could we highlight about this? The hidden element, the distortion, will not immediately become visible. No, you know what? Let's try that one again. I think he's talking in this paragraph about what's different about beauty, about art, and saying all of the different things that can be created without art that can seem true but aren't. And then in this paragraph, he says, a work of art bears within itself its own confirmation. Concepts which are manufactured out of whole cloth or overstrained will not stand up to being tested in images, will somehow fall apart and turn out to be sickly and pallid and convincing to no one. So, in other words, you can't fake it when you make art. Let's see. And maybe the next sentence, works steeped in truth will take hold of us, will attract us to themselves with great power. And nobody, even later, can negate them, can reverse them, make them seem not beautiful. And then he seems to suggest at the end that the branches of truth and good, or goodness, are too obvious and too straight, and so maybe can't reach the light. Whereas art, which is whimsical, unpredictable, unexpected, can maybe get to that place, the sun, and perform the work of all three. All right, I hope you enjoyed the article and you wrote at least 5 reasons why Solzhenitsyn thinks we should study art.